Hello, I welcome you all to a new NPTEL course titled Fundamentals of Language Acquisition. I am Bidisha Som from IIT Guwahati and I will be your instructor for this course. Let us get a brief overview what the course is all about and how it will be structured, what is the system of evaluation, how we will get the materials and so on. So, this is an introduction to the course. The goal of the course, as the name suggests, is primarily to look at the process, the stages and the nuances of language acquisition. Language acquisition meaning language learning, how children acquire language apparently effortlessly, how that happens within a very short span of time of 2 years, as well as how adults learn language at a later stage of life. So, basically to this main idea is to familiarize all the students with the underlying complexities of the seemingly effortless achievement of language acquisition. It appears very simplistic, everybody speaks, of course, apart from the atypical population, but large number of children apparently master language without any difficulty. So, how does it happen? Just because it happens, it needs deeper investigation as to what are the underlying processes. So, that is what we will be looking at. So, while looking at it, we will look at various parts of language. When we say language, we mean the sound structure of the language, we mean the words, the morphology, the syntax, semantics, pragmatics, as well as the way conversation is possible in a given language. Not every language follows the same kind of structure in terms of conversation. So, we will cover even that. So, all the underlying complexities with respect to structure and use of language and how humans acquire them will be the primary goal of the course. Scholars have wondered about how this process goes, what are the what possibly may account for all the entire process, and as a result of which you also have a number of theories in this domain, quite a few theories actually. Now, it can be looking at language as a self contained process without any give and take to any other anything else that marks us as human, or it can be seen as a node in the general purpose cognitive architecture and many other things in between. So, how can we account for this uniquely human approach is what will be another goal for us to delve into from theoretical perspective. So, on the one hand the structures, on the other hand the theories that account for those structures. And then relationship of language learning with various other factors and domains. For example, language acquisition and the evolution of language is something that is very important to know. Language acquisition studies and the evolution of language go hand in hand. There are very important interrelationships between them. Not only how language originated in the sense that the evolution of language as well as language evolution over time. Language changes all the time, language evolves all the time. So, how do these things are how do they feed into each other, how are they interconnected and so on, that is another thing that we will look at. And of course, the role of environment or as we call epigenetics. So, how does the classic nature nurture debate is what I am talking about here. So, how does the environment shape the way language is used in a particular given surroundings, given community and so on. So, these are the primary things, and finally, of course, we will no course on language acquisition will be complete without looking at when this taken for granted skill development does not happen. What happens when children do not learn language as the in the predicted pattern and the time frame. There is a sizable number of atypical children who do not or cannot acquire language alongside this in the same speed, in the same manner like neurotypical children. So, what happens then? What are the different types of language delay and language disorders? What are the proposed underlying reasons for them? What is the connection between language development and other kinds of mental development? Do they always co-occur? Do they not? If they do don't, then what is the reason, if they do, what are the connections between them, all these things we will try to cover in the last segment of the course. And while we are talking about language delay and disorder, we will also look at the various kinds of intervention methods, starting from the older times, the traditional methods, as well as today's state of the art techniques that are being used in different domains to look into this issue and trying to find a solution to it. So, that is the these are the goals, main goals of the course. So, to take care of this goal, we have various topics. We have organized the course in a number of modules, 12 modules to be precise. So, this is how we will start. So, first we will look at the evolution, language evolution and evolution of language, various theories, how the how each theory takes into account what kind of parameters and so on. So, that we will be looking at in detail in one entire module will be devoted to that. Second module will look into the theories. As I just said, without understanding the theories, it will be very difficult to account for the various kinds of data that we have, various kinds of stages of language development and how they all turn out to be somewhat similar and so on. So, all the important theories in language acquisition will be covered in the second module. So, with this we will set the stage and then we will be following this up with the specific aspects of language, specific aspects as in the phonology, morphology, word, syntax, semantics and so on and so forth. So, each of these topics will be given one full module. So, phonology one module, morphology one module, like this we will cover all of these different types, different segments within language, and these modules will include detailed discussion for each component as well as the structure and some of the recent developments in terms of experimental research and so on. So, very detailed discussion on each of these through one module devoted to each, that is how we will go. And once these fundamental aspects of languages are learned, then we will move on to discuss conversation and its rules and how we master the same. So, once the language learning happens, it is in place, then children will converse, right. So, they will have to communicate, they will have to negotiate their place in the world through language, and that is where conversation skills and the rules of conversation that govern a particular language and how children come to learn about it, what is there some sort of a universal pattern to it or not, all of that thing, all of those we will discuss in the next segment. And then till here we are looking at the first language acquisition. So, how children learn language. After this, after all these things are taken care of, we will go into second language learning, because language acquisition, as I said, will cover both first and second language acquisition. So, second language acquisition again we will be looking at both children as well as adults, because second language acquisition can happen at a younger age also, at an adult age also, and we will be looking at the theories, the various findings and what are the repercussions of these, of second learning another language and so on. So, this also will be discussed in detail, and then one entire module will be devoted to the role of brain in the entire process of learning language. What are the not only the regions in the brain which is called language areas in the brain, but also we will be looking at how the functioning, what are the neural signatures of language acquisition, language use and so on and so forth. So, the impact of all of these interconnections will be discussed, and then of course, as I mentioned before, the last module will be talking about atypical language development and the intervention methods. So, the course will try to introduce the students to the main topics, because this is a foundational course. So, it is not an advanced course, so to say. So, we will be trying to cover all the fundamental aspects. Of course, we will try and cover as much as possible of the recent developments. However, our main goal will be to focus on the main topics, the fundamental topics within this domain. So, the key takeaways from this course will be the students are expected to develop broad ideas about the key concepts associated with language acquisition, and then we will also try to incorporate as many topics as possible, so that anyone interested in an advanced study in this domain will find this course useful. So, this will hopefully take care of the fundamentals. So, your fundamentals will be strong, that is what the expectation will be, and also we think the course will be useful for anyone interested in interdisciplinary studies involving language. these are the 3 primary key takeaways of the course. This is how we will be organizing the course. There are 12 modules. Each week we will be covering one module, and as of now we are planning to have 5 lectures in each module, so that we will be covering one topic in in each of these classes, in each of these lectures. So that it is kind of very neatly packed for you. And so the course materials, as usual, as is the usual practice, will the lecture slides will be provided, and each module will also include adequate references, list of references for you to follow up, and most of these papers will be are readily available online. In case that they are not, you can always reach us through our discussion forum. And then evaluation, again as the usual method of NPTEL courses, we will have weekly assessments and we will have a final exam. And in case you have queries and you have doubts, there are of course, there are 2 ways of taking care of them. One is you put your questions, post your questions on the portal. Our team will get back to you as soon as possible, and we try and take care of the questions and doubts in real time as quickly as possible. We will get back to you. And also we have interactive sessions. So, I will be talking directly to the students. So, there are interactive sessions organized. There also you can bring up all your questions, all your doubts. I will try my best to answer each of them. So, that is about the queries. So, this is in a nutshell what the course is all about. With this, I welcome you all into this course and look forward to you joining us. Thank you.